Now start to overtake Animal a little bit slower. Same with Cease. I think Cease has now pushed off a couple players because usually he's finding some early game elims, and Animal will find one on Spike, who last game was on the outskirts of the map.
At this time, people looking like henchmen in a spot where there shouldn't be many inside Authority, but it's all good. But he's up against Titans of their own class, Neff, Agers, and one more, 4 people in total at this POI.
The other one is Mongrel. I don't know how Clix continues to attract this crazy attention from high-tier players, but it's a snipe on the back of Neff. Neff unaware that Clix can come down from the basement house and fire up as he tries to rotate from Dog to the center house. Still possibly needs to go through 2, but Clix might even just back off and leave Pleasant Park now.
Larger amount of players left alive. I'm not seeing the same names taken down in the feed that we saw in games 1 and 2. That means there's room for Trashy to still move forward, low risk in early game. There's room for Creo to climb back. We saw him getting into multiple 1v1s, but there's also still room for these fights to break out at the later portions, at the rotations past the initial POI. A clap straight back. Mongrel's like, no, this is how you snipe. We hit heads.
They might continue to brawl as Agers is struggling to find somewhere to drop. Mongrel will take him out now. A return shot. Opportunity might now be gone for Benji, and he makes a decision to back out.
I'm the most worried for Illust here because we've seen what happens when Cracked is on the back wall. He always goes all in. No regard for human decency or life, but he's going to be caught. Frisked, confident, first place in the semis. It's not an easy fight. You're desperate off another drop that's not working out. I'm predicting Agers maybe is there in the next game. And that'll be huge because that's more points for Frisk to collect earlier on before anyone else can. Snazy, though, on the back foot of Clix, who's itching for a fight. He's taking out all the shields. These walls will not be able to be held all the way from across the ocean. And now Clix has a lot of momentum, 2 eliminations, full mats, and a wide array of shields to choose from. He's gonna have to use a lot of materials if he wants to do so, still making sure his shields go all the way up. Has he used too much, though, to leave? Is he invested enough to keep chasing down Trashy? It seems as such. Pepper and Play gets him up from up top. There's no floor to actually block him, but Mr. Savage's timing is slightly off. His tack shot's there, though. This Trashy's aim that lets him down. The other thing to consider, too, Storm Surge. 5 people need to go down. Trashy's or Jelty's one of the players who's in a situation to land a little bit of damage. He gets some down on Carry, who is not covering his walls fast enough. This looks like a fast game for Jelty. Carry not actually there, I guess, mentally.
Jelty was able to predict that was coming, and he will unfortunately fall and make a blunder. Mr. Savage, though, spotted that happened, and he will get a little bit of materials out of that. Yes, he maxes back out. Good decision there. Even gets the extra whip, but there's a player in his box all of a sudden. Oh my goodness, a free elim. A free 5 points and a free siphon, too.
That might be so much more difficult just based on the timing of the zone. Tayson and Bonus also right next to the circle will be fighting head-to-head. This is builds at, actually, a lot of different names combined into one. There's no way he survives this.
What a risky play. And it is Tayson who finishes him off. At the same time, a big fight, Benji versus Aspect. Aspect, one of the original very strong young players coming out at NA East. Benji will challenge now. I think he has the advantage, although moving around the map and trying to spot anything else that's happening, because we saw Booga in the background. I've mentioned Clicks already. DGen directly underneath here.
The 2 things I want to see is on the left side, who exactly is over. And I think that's Retail, it might be Lazy Lake, and then towards the right side, who has control of that big mountain. A tell last that maybe there's a weapon switch, you can see through the metal. What can he fight for? He's looking for anything. It's Benji who gets right in with that utility. We know Aspect doesn't have much. Jumps all around, he's taken out. Yes, he is. Benji gets it.
Hey, he reads the weakness that Aspect was basically trying to signal.
The scariest thing would be those guys all the way up on the mountain, and it hasn't had to move, and the zone is near there. Divine, though, is looking to get back into this game with a pick on the slacks. Will he have the wall? Yes, he will, but it's a charge shot he has to answer to. And although he has a response for it, now there's so many more questions as to where he must go. Low HP, not too much utility, and look at the obstacles in the way.
a mountain, a bunch of strong players, and I think the 5th zone is going to be where the mountain is, and Dubs is sitting still in the center, directly in his cone, comfortable as all. Same with Rocks. They've gotten the power position. They haven't had to have any struggles rotating, although Dubs with an empty inventory slot means that he maybe has possibly already used all of his shield potions to get to where he is right now. But hey, it works because he's in top 50, starting to accrue placement and also potentially moving towards the end game.
Let's delve into that top 10 just a little bit as these guys actually rotate. Straw Hat Charlie, he's down 2. We saw Walkman, he's right beside Dubs up there. This is basically the top 10 at the tippity top spot of the map. Wrigley is looking to beam all the way up 2 on that leaderboard. Dubs, though, is the one with the vision. He almost gets another pick, slightly influences it. But these are the 5 to 10 players controlling the entire map.
Fine with the nice pepper rotate, he gets in, but again, the spray makes him waste so much, but he got a couple of elims on that backside the last time this happened, so he's still looking A-okay, although no shield. Zexer up in the game, he finds 1. Booga's right above, I think possibly one of the most consistent players up to this point, but not quite reaching the status that he had in the consistency at the World Cup, which was top 5 in so many different games. Obviously that first one so memorable. 6th zone goes up even further northwest, I think in flat ground as it comes down off of this mountain. Yes, that's over towards the bridge by retail, so things looking good. Who's on height? And I still don't see Frist. Oh, what a shot from Dubs. That makes 2 or 3 elims now for him as we tune in with Clicks, who has to take a med kit, and that's a lot of time right now, but he's got all of that because zone favors him.
Everyone's got to be scared. Dubs is online. I'm talking about 2 burst shots that are getting fast eliminations on people who have more than 150 shields. I'm talking about prime positions too. Right now, Clicks is not going to be in one completely, but he does have a launch pad to catch up to everyone else who is. Launches out all around. 6th zone is starting to move. Storm storage won't be a thing just yet. A slight miscalculation from Clicks, but he's already up in the air. Dubs with another elimination, a quick pickup. He is soaring up the leaderboard.
Yeah, but you got to be so careful because Clicks just took out Rocks as well. Rocks was up to the top. Clicks might even start joining in the top 5 if he has a good game here, but scuffing a little bit. A couple of edits flubbed multiple times now. Booga's still in this game. 2 Clicks in the box. He has to win the aim duel. Oh, the edits are so quick from Clicks, but not quick enough. As if he went the wrong way. It's Liqueur who will pick him up, and he also gets a ton of floppers out of this, but Dub's still up, and he's got 4. Booga close to height 2, although still I see no sign of that shockwave launcher. I hear the glider gun, though.
131 points is 100% first place, but how far can Dubs actually push it? You mentioned Zextro. This might be his game to win 2. Rarely does this man lose off of height. Divine has had such an experience getting to this point, has his shields up. His loadout actually looks really good. He was scuffed in shambles before, but 5 eliminations through all the turmoil. He has an entire game to play in front of him, too. It's a pop-off moment. A lot of builds, but he chooses to go straight to low. It's Cody who takes over Zextro on height. Divine still controlling things down on low. Riftmole, you saw him take out huge players. He's taking down on HP. Booga in Storm floppering. He might be the new height controller soon. Zextro, though, reigns supreme.
And here we go, Divine with 6 eliminations too, so 2 players who are absolutely popping off right now. It's him and Dubs, and they're face-to-face layer on layer, and Divine will switch that quickly. He doesn't want any of that because he's running out of materials right now, and he wasn't able to take a fight. It's Cody with the shockwave launcher, and he takes out Zextro. That potential gone. He's not going to be an end game off a height like you mentioned. There's still a couple, though, who could be a threat. Dubs and Booga still up in the top 15. That means Dubs for sure is rising way up, but can he actually completely capitalize? That's going to be the big question moving forward.
We're in retail row, and it's looking like Fortnite once again for everyone down below, but Cease is hanging on by just 1 thread. Cody has 1 more shot of the shockwave launcher to use. It might have to be right on Dubs, but it must be perfect. Dubs is waiting patiently. Suddenly, no one shoots anymore. Absolute silence.
Absolute silence. We get in the final zone. Dubs is starting to target at Cody, and this was the timing that he had when he took down Frisk in that second game to get the shockwave launcher and push him up towards the win, but now low in HP. Cody's going to go up against the no-name player who's down below, and it's a big shot. Yes, he's done and dusted, and now we know who the remaining threats are, but still 7 alive. Walkman takes out Divine, but gets traded by another no-name. Dubs and Cease, still big threats in this game, and Paper too.
Height is in control, but low ground is where all the points are at. Paper goes down. Dubs is still surviving on low. He's playing all aspects of this game perfectly. Cody's now dropped down. He's used so many builds to actually catch up and hold this spot that he has none left anymore, and he gets absolutely engulfed by a new player, new king of the zone. He has to drop down, but what a pump from Cody. Cease is still alive. Cody no shields. Dubs on the brink of existence. He has to come into zone with a huge shot. It's not possible. Cease 1 HP. Shields are there, but that's not what's important. At the end of the circle, Cody with another big pump. It's him versus Cease. Attack will end the game. But what a performance from the last top 10 players in Game 3 of NA East.
That the story is kind of about the big players, the big names that we all know in these Fortnite competitions aren't performing right now.
Yeah, what I meant by that was kind of that they missed on the first game, right? So like they weren't at the top when it started, but they were playing more consistently than everybody else, right? They were making the top 20.